Hello everyone and welcome to another EJ Guitar online lesson. Today we're going to have a detailed look at how to play the G major chord. This is the first in a series of lessons on how to play basic beginner open chords. So if this is something you would find useful, then please hit that subscribe button below, or if you want to leave a comment, feel free to leave a comment below too. Now let's have a close look at how to play this G major chord. So there's essentially two ways we can play this G major chord. One really easy way that's great for beginners, and one slightly trickier way that you can maybe work up to. So the easiest way I'll show you first. So what we do is we take this finger here, which I think is called a ring finger, or we take our pinky and we pop it down onto the 3rd fret of the top E string, and we pick that note, which is a G note. Or if you're using the other finger, the 3rd finger, that's also okay. So 4th or 3rd finger, doesn't really matter, whichever one's most comfortable. So that's our G note, so that's what gives the chord its name. Now we want to add in its friends. So a G major chord is made up of the notes G, B and D. So let's find those extra notes. So above it we have our D, which is just the open D, which is the 4th string. There's our D. And now we need to find that B, and that's easy enough because that's our open 2nd string, the 2nd finished string, which gives us a B. So now we'll notice that the 3rd string is a G, so that gives us an extra G note. So now we're going to play from the 4th string down to the top string, and that gives us that G major chord. So those notes are, from lowest to highest, are D, G, B and G. So the 3 main notes are just G, B, D, but it doesn't really matter how many G's, B's and D's we have in there. It's still going to be a G major chord, as long as we have the notes G, B and D. So those notes again are, from lowest to highest, are D, and then we have G, and then B, and then G again. And just give them a big strum. So that's the easiest way to play a G chord. Now we're going to have a look at the more sort of common way of playing a G chord. A lot of players play it this way because it gives it a bigger sound, a fuller sound. So to play this chord, what we do is we keep our finger anchored on that top E string at fret 3. So if you're using your pinky, or your 3rd finger, just anchor it down onto that top top E string, which gives us the lovely G note. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our 2nd finger and we're going to pop it down on the 3rd fret of the low E string, which also gives us a G, but a much lower sounding G. So next we're going to pop our 1st finger down onto fret 2 of the A string, and that gives us a B. Now we can strum all 6 strings, and it gives us that nice full sounding G chord. So if I go through those notes one by one, from lowest to highest, we have G, B, D, G, B and G again. Now what you'll notice is this version of the G major chord features 3 G notes. But it doesn't really matter how many G notes it features. It could feature 1 G, or it could feature 1,000 Gs. Or for that matter, 1 B or 1,000 Bs, or 1 D or 1,000 Ds. It would still be a G major chord as long as it has the notes G, B and D. So there you have it, 2 ways to play the wonderful G major chord. This way and a slightly easier way. Oh, and before I go, a couple of little tips on how to get a nice clear sound from playing these chords. Now, when you're fretting a note, for example, the top G on the G note on the top E string at the 3rd fret, is to keep your finger as close to the fret as possible. Now this will help you get a nice clear sound. It will help the note to ring out nice and clearly. Now we want to do this for each of the notes that we fret, each of the 3 notes fretted in the G major chord. Oh, and we also want to try and pop them up as close to their tips as possible, which will also help the notes to ring out nice and clearly. So, there you have it, the G major chord. Now, if you like what I do, please subscribe or leave a little comment below. I'll be posting many more of these lessons on how to play open chords, which are great for beginners. So, I hope you've enjoyed this lesson, and I look forward to seeing you all soon.